Hey everybody, good morning. We got Ruben Nunez here. How are you, Ruben?
Good, Kent. Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. So Ruben and I work together. Spoiler alert. Ruben has been in the Panama real estate industry for how long, Ruben? 20 years?
No, well, no, not that far off. 12 years.
12 years?
Yeah.
Feels like 20 sometimes. Ruben is a star, Panama real estate agent, veteran. Today we're going to talk about the city market in Panama City, Panama. What's going on with it? Because the people want to know. Ruben, you've been busy, man. There's been times I'm trying to call you, try to email you, and you're like, "I'm showing properties." Shoot, you were just out showing properties this week, right? What kind of stuff do you find yourself? What are people looking for these days? What's hot?
I think that what everybody's looking for is not only that perfect location, but also a lot of the buyers that are coming in are trying to find the property that they potentially see themselves living in a few years from now. So it's a nice combination that people want to seek and trying to find a good deal, of course, as they should, and also the location.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, it's not everybody's situation is different, but specifically, like what buildings do you find you're showing more often in the last week or two?
I think that I would say areas like Costa del Este for sure, the buildings like the Regent, pre-construction like Nogal or Generation are big time buildings that people are continuing to look at because of the flexibility these buildings will offer eventually. In areas like Costa del Este, for instance, in Santa Maria, people are looking for Ocean House, which is already built, moving ready. And if it's pre-construction, then they'll be looking at Oceana, Oro 2, and other buildings that are offering smaller layouts, and even like the Ivy, which is that middle back 1,700 square foot, 3 bedroom, you know, middle-sized family of Tahoe. People are starting to look into those alternatives as well.
Okay, interesting. So let's unpack that a little bit. You mentioned 4 or 5 pre-construction projects. Pre-construction in this case being stuff that's getting built right now or like planned, you know, Nogal, Oceana, and these kind of projects. What can somebody expect to pay on a per square meter basis for something like that? And what has changed in the last 12 months price wise? As prices gone up? So yeah, 2 questions there.
Now, um, so for example, in Costa del Este, prices for pre-construction will be in the 3,200 per square meter
Costa del
range.
Este,
Costa del Este
3,200 per
and
square
pre-construction.
meter, or about $300 a square foot. Okay, gotcha. And that gets you something, like upscale views, swimming pool, gym, all that jazz.
Yeah, definitely. You're looking at, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, balcony, some views. The building will have for sure pool, gym. At least those basic amenities are guaranteed in that type of price range. Not to mention, walkability. In the best location within Costa del Este, for example, preferred by expats and families alike.
I remember Costa del Este came down quite a bit, seeding the pandemic, because I think it had gone up a little bit too high, or at least the market stuff got built too quickly, or people speculated and pushed prices up only to realize that they came back down. What have you seen prices in, for example, Costa del Este do in the last 12 months? Pre-construction and existing.
Oh, pre-construction prices were set when the developer started the project. So those prices have pretty much remained the same in terms of 3,200. And what happens is that as soon as they start construction, they will just raise them a bit depending on how well the project has been selling. Pre-owned properties in Costa del Este, price per square meter have gone up, for sure. Since the 2022, they've continued to steadily rise and become probably the best-selling area in all of Panama City. So they're taking advantage of that. I think one of the benefits or the reasons for that happening is that Costa del Este has their own developing committee. So they're the ones who approve or not potential new projects. And they've done a pretty good job in holding back new construction so that the market can absorb the inventory they have. So they're now in a process that will present new inventory in a 3-year span. So from now until approximately 3 years from now, the existing inventory will be what it is, and it will give potential investors a steady market until then.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I mean, it's nice when you kind of know that you don't have like 10 projects that are all going to get delivered in 12 months. So, okay, you said 3,200 a square meter for something brand new and very nice, two bedroom, whatever. Go figure maybe 100 meters, so 320,000 ish, right? What would on the same line with the same views in a building that's like maybe 5 years old or like 8 years old? What would that sell for per square meter? 2,200?
In Costa del Este, no. Well,
Yes.
yeah, definitely in Costa del Este, prices have been steadily above $2,200 per square meter. So
Okay.
something similar to that, you will find uh, probably around 2,400 at least
Okay. So
minimum.
that's yeah, and I'm just trying to help folks get an idea about brand new versus like 5 or 7 years old, right? And it sounds like 1,000, like 20, 30% more for new construction. And then hopefully once that gets built, that sets a new precedent for existing construction because now that thing is done, it's at 3,200. Now you got the neighbor, maybe the neighbor comes up a little bit just because people don't see a huge difference anymore between a year old and like 5 years old if it's similar amenities. But like we always talk about, it also always depends on the building,
Yeah.
and the builder. What do you think? What do you use in terms of advising clients as a litmus test? Actually, you know what? Let's keep talking market for a minute. What about rents? What are you seeing in rents? We can stay in Costa del Este. We can move around the city a little bit, but in general, say rents in January compared to rents now that we're doing this in June.
I when you look at the numbers, the rest of the city, trying to come up with alternatives for people thinking about renting in Panama. If you're looking into areas like Avenida Balboa, San Francisco, El Cangrejo, Punta Pacifica, prices in these areas have kind of remained steady since the beginning of this year, probably mid of last year as well. They
Flat,
remain very steady. Correct.
similar for the last year. Are you seeing that maybe owners have a little bit like they kind of negotiate less, they negotiate more, or like not a whole lot of change?
Yeah, it's on a per building basis. It really
Right.
depends a lot on what the building is like and the property
Fair.
conditions, of course. But I don't think they've been able to negotiate all that much, even though there's plenty of inventory in these neighborhoods when they compare it with Costa del Este or Santa Maria, for example. So it's just different neighborhoods, but it does give a potential, person seeking for rental, uh, better possibilities to find lower price per square meter on the rental side in these neighborhoods simply because of the inventory available.
Okay, so yeah, it sounds like, the question should have been, what have you seen in rents in Balboa Avenue or what have you seen in rents in Costa del Este? Because it sounds like, due to still quite a bit of inventory in Balboa Avenue, prices have not done much in terms of rents going up, rents coming down, and then the corresponding yields for investor clients. What about in Costa del Este and Santa Maria? You mentioned that area as well. Have you seen rents over the same 12 months also flat? Or I feel like Santa Maria rents have even come down a little bit, no?
Yeah, so it really depends on the time of the year. Of course, expats will come usually end of the year or first quarter of the year. So this time of the year, usually there's not a lot of movements. People are not making a move. They're likely to do so at the end of the year. So right now, you find more inventory available in Costa del Este in buildings that
Oh,
usually you may not find. For example, like the Regent, Parkside, and these type of buildings, you may find a few units available for rent that maybe at the beginning of this year there was
you wouldn't
nothing.
have
There
found.
was a list of people, waiting to see what came available.
Yeah, cool. No, that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that the rental market would be seasonal in the city, but yeah, especially for areas like Costa del Este with corporate relocation and all of that. Okay, cool. What else can we share with people? New construction. prices? Where are you seeing people coming from? Any big demand? Obviously, we always get a lot of Americans and Canadians, Europeans, but any new countries you're noticing a trend? Catherine was saying our beaches agent is saying a lot of Asians now, Germans. Germans were coming. Are you getting any Western European clients or South American clients?
Yeah, I've been getting Brazilians, Colombians as well, more than I would have seen in the past. So definitely South Americans are making a move for Panama, at least over the past 6 months for sure.
Enough to move prices? Probably not, right? They're not coming in like droves.
Correct. Correct. So a lot of the buildings, especially anything that's investment oriented, for instance, with Airbnb licensing, for example, have caught a lot of the attention of Colombian buyers. So a lot of those units are being sold to Colombians as an investment. If the building is mainly investment and Airbnb oriented, it's something that has driven their attention.
Okay, yeah, they tend to gravitate. They get the market, the model, right? I mean, it's pretty common in Colombia in terms of short-term rentals. Okay, cool. Well, anything else you want to share before we wrap it up?
I was just gonna say, you mentioned it. You asked earlier about what people are looking for, and this last bit we were discussing about buildings with Airbnb licensing has been a major aspect that people are concerned with in terms of finding an investment opportunity. So they're asking specifically for buildings with licensing to conduct this line of business, opposed to what was happening in the past. A lot of the investors have been focusing on regular buildings that didn't have this licensing, and something that has helped, I think, is identifying that the law right now, as it is, doesn't really allow them to conduct this line of business in a regular condo. So now they're shifting their interest to buildings with such licensing, thinking about Panama, increasing its tourist potential in the future, and being able to get into that line of business as well here.
I hear you. Yeah, I wonder what would happen if Panama said, you know what, forget it. Airbnb, it's fine. Everybody's doing it anyway. We're going to make it legal. Your PH can make it illegal if they want. Your building administration can make it illegal. I wonder what that would do. I feel like that would, kind of probably take the premium off of these units that they're charging right now with the quote unquote license. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with this new president, with this new mayor. I think it also falls into the commerce minister in terms of, changing the law. I mean, I feel like you look at Airbnb in Panama City and you can see like 300 units any one day in Costco, Balboa Avenue, JW. So yeah, we don't do that, but a lot of other people do. So cool, man. Awesome. Well, good insight, Ruben. Thank you so much for hopping on, and thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you found this useful. Contact us. We know the market and we want to make sure things are as transparent as possible. So appreciate you, Ruben. Have a great day,
You
everybody.
too, Ken. Bye.
Bye.